Hello, Thunder Wizards. All right, so today I'm going to talk to you about dancing with Loki. So this is going to be redefining myself, I believe, part 12. Remember the last one? What was I doing? I was catapulting into infinity. Infinity has a large wall on it, and apparently I catapulted right smack dab into that wall. Or at least that's how I'm feeling. Anyway, um, so what has happened with me, if we go back a while and we start talking about it, that in March of this year, this is 2019, right? In March of this year, Rahu, which is the south node of the moon, which is the trickster, Rahu entered into Gemini. And that's important for me because when I was born, Rahu was in Gemini. And so when you have what's called a nodal return, when the nodes, the south and the north nodes of the moon, reposition themselves over the same spots they were in when you were born, you have a nodal return. So Rahu is the north node. If I said south node, I was wrong. Rahu is the north node of the moon. And Rahu is the trickster. Rahu is Loki. And I talk a lot about Loki and I talk a lot about Rahu because it's extremely important to understand the function of this energy. So the trickster energy is very important. Now, I am once again humbled. I am brought down to my knees and humbled once again by the power of Rahu and Loki. And, I wish there was a way to avoid, what these beings do, but there isn't. So I am going to be in a nodal return until September of next year, which means that Rahu is going to be in the sign of Gemini until September of next year. So we'll see how that plays out. But some interesting things. So I don't know if I should share this or not, but what the heck, I will. So when I left California and I came here, you guys can go back and watch the Redefining Myself part, whatever it is. And I arrived here. There was somebody that I had met who I had become friends with, and we reconnected when I got here. And this woman turned out to be a really good friend because when I got here, I was really discombobulated, and I went through a much deeper sadness, mourning for the loss of my fiance who died just a little over like almost 2 years ago within the past couple of weeks. That was one good thing. I bypassed that and didn't go through the normal, pain that normally has happened. Well, happened one other time on the anniversary of her passing. But this individual was there for me and was a good friend. And she had said that she felt that there was some, like she, we went to some meditative thing, and during that, she said she saw a being around me that she said was cheeky, was kind of precocious, trickster, and that she saw this being around her house, and we had deduced that it was because of me, and blah blah blah. And before I came here, I don't normally do this, but I actually had a psychic reading, and this was somebody who had been strongly suggested to me. I normally don't, most psychics in my experience are either readers, like they read you, or they are telling you what they want to hear, or at best, they're able to psychically connect with your unconscious desires. and tell you what you want to hear. So it sounds like, oh my God, they couldn't have known that, but it does mean they're telling you the truth. This has been my experience with psychics. So some people I really respected said, you've got to talk to this girl. She's great. And I did, and I didn't tell her anything. I told her off the bat, I said, listen, I'm not going to give you any information. You just tell me what you see. And she said some things which were quite accurate. And one of them was that she said that there was a real trickster energy around you. And so that, along with when I got here, the first person I connected to without knowing any of that started saying that there was some cheeky spirit around you. And then you heard me talking about something that I had been wanting, which had seemingly come into my life, which was a new relationship, and it took off like gangbusters, and it exploded, and it went, just it was crazy, intense, and beautiful. And you saw, I thought, that's it. I found my next soulmate. Well. That is no longer the case. That ship has crashed and burned. I'm grateful for the experience. I'm grateful for having met her. She's an amazing, dynamic, phenomenal, powerful, spiritual human being. But we just weren't fated in this lifetime. But crazy things happened when we met. And I looked at her chart, as I always do, especially if I'm going to date somebody, I want to look at their chart. So I looked at her chart, and what was interesting was that my Rahu was positioned directly over her moon, and her moon is in Gemini. Her Rahu is positioned directly over my ascendant and also close to my moon. So what this means is that, when you've got that kind of thing, my Rahu's over her moon, her Rahu's over my moon and my ascendant, it means that Rahu has a huge part to play. And so I was not unaware of this. And when we first met, there was just like all of this stuff trying to keep us from just physically meeting. Like the world was literally blowing up and cars exploding and, all kinds of crazy things happening. I won't get into it. But it was like there was this huge resistance. And then once we met, she came and visited me at, I rented a spot to go down and visit her. And I had an extra room, and it was late. I said, you can sleep in that other room. And, I slept in my room. And we both woke up having had crazy, horrific nightmares about each other. And so we were both just really scared of each other. Now I said, well, of course, Rahu is sitting over both your moon and my moon. Moon is dreams. So that makes perfect sense. We had these like nightmares of past life, us doing horrible things to each other in past lives. And we chalked that up to, Rahu's a trickster. He's trying to trick us. But it's an opportunity for us to go deeper and to learn and to grow, which of course was 100% true. But Rahu is Rahu. And so now after the fact, after now that catapult into infinity, I've now splatted onto the side of the castle wall, and my body parts are dripping down, and cue the cartoon laughter. Now that that's happened, I'm going, Rahu, once again. I won't get into it, but there were things that were revealed that, it was like, whoa. And that was, again, that's Rahu. Rahu is the trickster. And there's a bunch of things that were associated with it that I won't get into. That was definitely Rahu. That became more and more apparent as time went on. And again, my experience with Rahu and Loki is that they bring dynamic transformation if you stay conscious. And they bring dynamic spiritual awareness of your own limitations if you stay conscious. If you do not stay conscious, you will be deceived. You will be entrapped and deceived into your own garbage. And so you could end up just, being taken through the wash by your own unconsciousness, by your own limitations. And so this is, when Loki and Rahu show up, I know. Now, the other thing that was interesting is that this woman, before we connected, she had a dream, and she dreamt that a Loki character that had my face but had a bunch of crazy hair before she met me showed up outside of her apartment going. So she took that to mean that I was showing up. Now, after the fact, I am actually thinking it was Loki. That the fact that he showed up, because I'm bald, obviously, showed up with a bunch of crazy hair, that was Loki letting me know that it wasn't me, that it was the shapeshifter Loki showing up as me, letting her know that some transformation was coming and letting me once again know there's this theme. So there's this theme going on with me having my nodal return. That, before I left here, psychic told me that. As soon as I got here, a woman psychic, a woman told me that. Um, the reason I picked the spot I'm living at now is because a woman, once again, online, we connected online, and she lived in this area, and boom, the romance looked like it was going to, and of course, as soon as I got here, as soon as I got here in this very house, I'm living in the same house that I visited when I first came here a year ago. She showed up, and then after one visit, disappeared, and disappeared from my life. And I've got these Rahu feminine beings coming into my life, showing me where to go next. And it's been very interesting. So right on the eve, I met this woman, Rahu, blah blah blah, and we had the crazy blah 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 blah, and we fell in love, and it looked like we were headed for matrimonial bliss, in probably a year or so time. Who knows how long it would, maybe more than that. But I was definitely thinking, yeah, this is it. It's just, and she was thinking that too. And so I went and rented a house down there. And I applied for a house down where she is in her area, which is an amazing place. I got down there, the energy there was crazy powerful, and it's a place well known for progressive thinking and spirituality, and but the rainforest there is just crazy powerful. And apparently it was a meeting place for Aboriginals. It was a place where Aboriginals came and traded knowledge and traded. So I think there's some inherent power in that place. But so because I thought I was going to be with her, I applied to get a house. And the day that I got told that I was approved to take that house and to rent it, everything blew up. And we tried. We tried for a good 24 to 48 hours. We really tried to pull it together, and it just wouldn't. So I want to share something. When your karma with somebody comes to an end, here's been my experience. My experience is that when your karma with somebody comes to an end, what'll happen is you will hit an impasse. And one or both of you will become either really entrenched in a position that they can't move out of, or one person will become very irrational. And no matter what you say, there's nothing you can say that will appease them. I was that person this time. I'm actually, now that things are done and I'm looking at it, it's definitely for the best. We were not right for each other, and we would have eventually caused each other a great deal of emotional harm. Not because there's anything wrong with either of us, just because when you've got two things that don't click, or that you got two wounds that come together in just the right way, there's no healing. It's just constant, And I saw this was going to happen. And when I saw that happening, I emotionally just got into this entrenched position, and I knew it, and I just couldn't get out of it, and I couldn't bring myself to end it. And so thankfully she had the wherewithal to end it, and I'm grateful to her for that, because it's just, when warriors make a commitment, and I'm a warrior, when I make a commitment, I can't break it. Even if everything in me wants to, I just can't. And so I was in this intractable position where it was clear that I was wanting out, but I wasn't taking the action, and she was trying to meet me on multiple levels. And when she saw that she couldn't, she ended it. That's my experience. She might have a different one, but so that's important to know, about karmic things, and clearly from the fact that we were having these dreams about each other and dreamed like nightmares about, past lives with each other, and we, both of us woke up. I had these crazy nightmares I won't get into about her and things that she did to me and just crazy cruelty. And I woke up and that first night, and she came out of her bedroom, and I asked her, "How'd you sleep?" And she said, "I had a bunch of weird dreams." I said, "Me too, about you." And she said, "So did I." And the stuff that she shared about me was pretty awful, but hopefully that those weren't true. In any case, when you hit that karmic ending, there's nothing that can be done. Nothing. No matter how hard you try, you cannot. You just. So I believe that we traded some karmic payments and paid off some debts to each other on a karmic level. We definitely had just a hell of a lot of fun in ways that I haven't had fun in a seriously long time. It was immensely, great for my ego to be with somebody that was almost 20 years younger than me and looked like she was, 30 years younger than me. And boy, I just had a blast in that, and that was really great. Hopefully she had a good experience too. But so Rahu's been doing a number on me, and I have to surrender where surrender is due. I'm going to be in this nodal return until September of next year, and I'm starting to think, do I want to just take a vow of celibacy until this is over, because I just, my experience with Rahu and my experience with Loki is that, in the past when I've dealt with them directly, like sought to reach out to communicate with them directly, it's always ended up with me with my ass in my hand at some point, and obviously every time I grow significantly and I learn crazy things, but it's always at my own expense, meaning my own limitations, and I get to smack into that. So if you've got Rahu placed some different, and Rahu's in a really great spot in my chart. In one of the best possible locations. But every time, there have been times in the past I've chanted Rahu mantras, and, I get my ass handed to me every time. So I'm starting to think, I don't know. We'll see. Rahu's, as it passes through Gemini, it's going through different points and different nakshatras, which are different star constellations and different points in those constellations. So we happen to be in a really intense period where in Ketu and Saturn and now Jupiter coming into Sagittarius is also, that is a huge combination for major change and spiritual upheaval in a way that will be challenging. And there will probably be other people who are going through this and or will go through this. So maybe Rahu will pass through another point in my chart which will actually give me good things, because Rahu is one of those planets that he'll either give you the world or he will cut your legs off to teach you the lesson, to give you the wisdom. So that's where I'm at. This is this is Redefining Myself, I believe, part 12. The number 12 is liberation in astrology. The 12th house means liberation from your karma, from your life. So maybe I've released myself from some nasty karma, and now finally I can be free of all that garbage, and I can really start creating my life. So, I sit here now, in the pain of that, and breakups are really painful. Thankfully, we weren't together too long, but it felt like years, even though we, probably 6 weeks. Yeah, I was racing all up and down the coast, and just my work suffered, my everything suffered, because I was just I was just all up in the air, and I won't get into why, but just the nature of trying to have a long distance relationship with somebody that's like 4 hours away. And forgot what I was saying, but Yeah. Now I have this house that if I want to, I can move into, in a few weeks, and it's in a really great place. It's a couple of blocks from the ocean, a great surfing beach, beautiful like this, beautiful forest, great people. I like it here. I wouldn't have made the decision to move down there, even though people had told me. Once again, a woman had said, you need to check out that area and that specific area long before. So, and I went down there and I saw I can definitely clean up here. I mean, it's like this hippie community that's been there for 40 years, and now it's kind of a touristy place, but there's all this crazy, deep spiritual, yoga retreats and qigong and blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, I could clean up down there in a good way. So, I can't think of a reason not to. And so far, Rahu has been sending women to me to pull me along and take me to where I need to go. And so if one of her jobs was to get me to make the commitment to rent a house and then move down there and then disappear, then she was a real asset to me and was really used by the universe to help me. So I think I'm going to wait until the pain subsides before I take any action or make any decisions. But I mean, for a while, I was thinking, I think I'm going to move back to California, go back. But then there's nothing left for me back there. I don't know anybody. All my friends are gone or married or off. My family is dead or moved away. There's just nothing left for me. The beaches are crowded as hell. The surfing is crowded as hell. It's the sand there is hot. You can't walk on the sand in the summer. There's tar on the beach. You get tar on your feet all the time, and water is polluted in different places. So anyway, so that's the scoop, guys. My phone is telling me it's time to shut up, so I'm going to shut up now. But that's it for me. Redefining myself, part 12. Dancing with Loki and peeling myself off of the castle wall. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon.